Hey, what's up, guys? Good to be back with you here for another video. Wanted to talk about something that comes up, I think, from time to time in different saves done by different content creators on YouTube and people who talk about Football Manager and stuff like that. And it's one of those things we don't talk about necessarily that much. And that thing is going to be this little box up here, which is this selection advice box, or you could also do the quick pick. So for most of us, when we go into managing a team, we're going to look for some advice on who to pick, especially if it's the very beginning of the season, right? And we see here, if we just take a look at this really quick, we see that, oh, look, Fetuau and Walter Patti have a good relationship together, ignoring the fact, if we decided to just do this without changing our team, that Patti has played one appearance this season and didn't exactly have a great job or a great time of it, and his match load is heavy. I'm not quite sure I fully understand what has led to that. He played one match in like a couple of weeks. Oh, I see, he was on international duty, so I mean, whatever. So it takes a while to figure this out, right? He's an important player. He's probably really upset because I'm not playing him as the star player. No, he doesn't have a strong opinion about his playing time at present, right? I mean, he's not playing as a regular starter. He's only started once, and we're not going to start him here today. What we're going to do is we're going to start Roy Ledoux, who's been playing every match and who's played really, really well and who's been really impressive. There are a couple other things I want to point out here, and I was just thinking about this while I was looking through this. So our team's a little bit special. We don't have a whole ton of players who are actually natural defensive midfielders, which is, I mean, the only reason why I really have this position in here is so I can use the Segundo Volante, because it actually does seem to be somewhat overpowered. It helps us win a lot, right? Anything we do to win, we're going to do. Now, there are other problems here as well. I mean, you look here at our setup and then you look at the bench. Why do we have 3 strikers on the bench when there are only 2 striker positions, right? This doesn't make any sense, right? We probably should put Maile in there playing the deep lying forward role. One of the reasons why I wanted that role is because Maile, when we were playing last season, had this tendency to sort of head the ball forward to nobody. So I figured, hey, let's put an attacking forward up there that he can head it to, right? Now, we could argue that, well, maybe Mark Tagai is better than Chris Famuana, but I don't think there's much of an argument here. I mean, Famuana has been absolutely awesome, right? He's been really, really good in terms of form this season, has had nothing but good performances with the exception of the one against our under-18s team, which I didn't even coach. We probably should have Famuana starting this game since we are really, really hoping to win and we want to make sure that we play well, right? It would make sense for us to do that. There's some other weird problems going on here as well, like Fetuau, for example. I know that he can play on the left side, but we like to have Fetuau play here in the center. We want to have somebody else play on the left. We're probably going to put Amisone back into it. Amisone is going to retire at the end of the season. He's played fairly well for us so far. We might as well give him a chance to play again. He's not going to get too upset if he doesn't play. And this I like. I like Fao Danielson and Ledoux up there. Toa, I'm not entirely sold on. Don't really want to put Loke in. Probably Chris Seleni or maybe Xavier will put one of those two in. Probably put in Seleni because Xavier hasn't exactly played that well for us. And then the next question, of course, is, okay, so now what do we do with all these guys down here, right? Because we don't want to have 3 strikers. Usually, I mean, it's ideal if we have a defender who is like Walter Assam, who hasn't played much this season. You think I would actually play him for a change. We want to put him in here as somebody who can play in all 3 of these back positions, because then we have somebody who can come and fill in. Instead of having 3 strikers here, I probably would just have Petu Poli on the bench. And I mean, you can make an argument that he should be starting instead. We want to have Ken Coulter there because we need a player here to play on the side. And chances are, too, that we probably want to have midfielder as well, like a normal midfield. I guess we do have Xavier on, so we could keep him. We might want to put, though, Twala Lele on as well instead of having another striker just sort of wasting space. And so here, once we made those changes, you can see we do have a striker to come on if these guys aren't playing well. We have somebody come on either left or right side. We do have a midfielder. We do have a guy who can play defensive midfield and in the back. And then we have Walter Assam who can do pretty much anything in the back. I do also wonder to myself if I shouldn't actually, maybe I will, go ahead and just start Walter Assam instead. I don't know. It's kind of a tricky thing to say because he hasn't started yet this season, but maybe we'll look into that and see what we can do. And oh, look, he has a fairly decent partnership with Fao Danielson, despite the fact that Walter Assam hasn't actually played this season, right? He played a lot or a little bit here in the friendlies, got injured, and then was just simply not selected for most of the time. So we'll see what happens. One of these two, I think this one is actually a friendly. So there you go. That's sort of the way that I handle it. I don't know. Maybe you have some sort of tips or some sort of advice on a better way to handle this, a better way to sort of go through and choose your squad. I will say, though, that you don't want to rely entirely on selection advice. A lot of selection advice, as I understand it, has to do with the players' roles and how often they're supposed to be playing based on their agreed player time and stuff like that. I mean, what we really want to do here is not necessarily make people happy or sad. We want to have a team that wins, right? Remember, the reason why we want a team that wins is because we are only 3 points behind Ilawa and Toamata. They play against Black Roses, and we're going to be playing against Tapu Timu. So we should be able to win this one. Black Roses, I think they're going to win their match against Black Roses, but who knows? Maybe if we hurt their excitement a little bit, maybe that had a bit of an influence. I don't know. Another thing that we can do here, by the way, which is a little bit sneaky, but we can always go in and see if we can't sign Krishna. And look at that. He would be happy to sign with us. I don't care if he's going to even start with us or not. What I'm really trying to do is I'm trying to make there be a little bit of upset feeling going on there. Maybe we can sneak him over or make him think a little bit about coming over to our squad instead. And maybe that can be enough of a distraction so that we could get a loss from them. Of course, and then we look here. Here I am. It's right in front of me. They have already won against Black Roses. So we really need to win this match. There's no other way about it. We need to win this match absolutely if we want to have our own 11th win and stay in competition with them. We can actually tie them, I think, from here, unless this hasn't updated yet. So we'll see what happens. No, I'm sorry. This is the latest score. This is at halftime, right? When you look at the time. So we'll find out what happens tomorrow. Pretty cool, by the way, that while he's playing in the match, we can somehow get a hold of Raynel Krishna. That's probably a little thing that Sports Interactive has overlooked and probably shouldn't be allowing that to happen, but whatever. So it is. Anyway, there you have it. Hopefully that will help us out a little bit, and hopefully we can get a slip up by then and we can get a victory for us. I don't know. But as I said, you don't just want to click OK with team selection advice, especially once you get to know your players. You want to go in and make a choice and think about what you're doing and actually look at some stats instead of just going for it. Otherwise, you can have stuff that happens like when we lost that 0-2 match against a team we should have creamed. We don't want that to happen. We need to win every match. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.